Wow, that's a nice Carpenter bee trap. I bet you want to make one. So you get a 4x4 and you measure 5 inches. And then you can probably guess what's going to happen next. Miter saw. Take it slow. And there you go. All right, you're done. Thank you. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, I keep going. Yeah. Mark the center. I wonder what I'm gonna do with that. Oh, this is a combination square. This is my favorite tool ever. I just love it. It's just super useful. But anyway, right now I'm getting the basic halfway point from that piece. It's a 4x4, so it's 3.5 inches. So it's about, I don't know, like, isn't that like 1 1/4 or something? Is half of that. This is a trick my brother taught me where, like, you don't have to find the exact center because you can just measure from both sides and whatever's in the middle is going to be the center. So if you're close enough, you're good. Then you're going to measure for an inch off the base. This is going to be where we put the holes in the side that are going to attract those stupid bees. Oh, that's why I marked the center. Yeah, so that's kind of the exit hole that eventually leads into the actual trap component, the jar on the bottom. I made a little jig, you're going to see in a second right here, to get a good angle. If you just put it in a vise and kind of wing it, you can get a good angle anyway. I just have been making a lot of these, so I made this little jig for it. One time I did this and I like pre-drilled holes coming straight down, thinking that'd make it easier, but it didn't. So I just do it janky like this every time, and it doesn't really matter if it looks bad because we're gonna, burn it later. So, and like wabi sabi, right? It's okay to look bad. So I always check that I can see the light through each of the holes, showing that they all connect that central one. All right. So for the top and bottom, I use cedar pickets, 5.5 inches. That makes it basically square because the pickets are 5.5 inches wide. You're gonna make two of these. And then I like to take it on the belt sander and kind of curve the edges over. You could do this with a lot of things. I mean, you could just do this by hand sanding. This is just faster. I think it just helps it look better in the end. And it's like my favorite power tool is the belt sander. So we're going to mark the center for the bottom piece. You get a top and a bottom. You can see the top there. So I don't use the drill press for this just because it's such a thin piece of wood and we're going all the way through. The drill press, if the second you hit it, it's just going to start like spinning like crazy. So do that by hand. Get yourself a little taste of glue and lots of glue. Glue does the work. Nails are just there until the glue's finished drying. I really love glue. It's nice. It's cool. It's sticky. It's sweet almost, strangely. Not that I would know. So once again, I could take the time to really line this up, make sure it's perfect, but it doesn't matter. The bees don't care, and wabi sabi. At the end of the day, it's going to get burned like crazy, and that's where the beauty comes from. The beauty doesn't come from its symmetry or its perfection. It's just pretty. So, just take a second and look, make sure it's not too far off. I've done it before, and I've done it before trying to use stuff to get it perfect, and it's been off. So, sometimes swinging it is the way to go. Something really important with these two pieces is to make sure that they're in line with each other, so the grain is the same, and also to make sure that they're cupping in towards the body of the trap. That's just going to help as the wood expands over time. All right, the fun part. I seriously have been so shocked how long this propane tank has lasted. I feel like we got it like last year, and we're still burning stuff. One thing I learned about this process of shoshugiban, the burning of the wood, is burn it. Like, don't just give it a little char. Go all the way till you start seeing that crackling of that layer of like charcoal and carbon. You see on the bottom there, right? It's just crackling. That's helps it be pretty. It also really helps with the waterproofing, the weatherproofing over time. So burn it as much as you want. Um, and the only kind of caveat to that is that to make sure that you don't let it sit. So after you're done burning, I wait like a minute for it to cool down a little bit, and then I immediately start scraping off the ash. And that's because if you let it burn, it's like if you don't scrape it off, it's going to burn through it, and you're going to end up with just pure charcoal deeper into the wood, which you don't always want. I use this is like a I don't know, steel brush. Make sure you go with the grain. You're scraping in the direction of the grain because if you scrape in the opposite direction, you're going to get scratch marks. If you do it like this, all you're doing is taking off that top layer of charcoal. So you see here, I'm going with the grain. Okay. Now that gets a little tricky in some areas, and I'll kind of explain like what I do there when I get there. But this is my favorite part, And it doesn't care. It doesn't matter that it's split. It's the bees don't care, and it adds that kind of rustic appeal. I think the holes kind of like belly buttons. Don't the holes kind of look like belly buttons? Like anyway, so yeah, you just keep scraping. I look like crazy when I come home after doing this. But so here I do kind of a light scrape against the grain just to get it like kind of loosened up. And then I start going with the grain. So there's that kind of light, very light scrape just to loosen it up so it's easier to pull it out there. Yeah. And then, if you don't have an air compressor to blow this off, just use your mouth, blow it. You'll be good. Put it in front of a fan. You can wipe it off, you know. I got this mason jar for my mom. I bought a bunch of mason jars, but I ran out, and so I asked my mom for one. One thing I learned too, I was gonna like just go to Goodwill and get a bunch of mason jars. They charge like $2 per mason jar, and you can go to Walmart and get them for like $1, like brand new. It's bizarre. So you know they're really cheap. Yeah, I like to use this all there in the center, as you see, just to keep it like so I have an idea of where that hole is. Um, I use sheet metal screws because yeah, I'm going through metal. They're stainless; they're going to last a while. And then you just mark those other ones and screw them in. I feel like I always end up stripping at least one of these, so just take it slow, take it easy, back up a little bit if you need to. That's a step bit right there, real helpful for metal and plastic. I need to knock out them shavings because the bees probably don't like metal. Never seen them digging it. Last real step is just to put in the screw eye that holds it up. Um, I thought about using hooks, but I just think screw eyes look better. Um, and I don't know, it's just like this weird kind of like premium thing. And then like a hook can fall in the wind. So, you know, just drill that in, screw it in. Ain't too complicated. I don't know why I spent so long showing you this. I apologize. I think you can figure out how to do this. Oh, look at that doofus trying. Okay. There you go. You got it, doofus. Hardest part right here is getting it on the little shepherd's hook dealio. And there you go. Great work, everybody. My cat just puked. I hope you didn't hear that. But if you did, that's great. Bye. And then the crazy thing is, it actually works despite all the burning. It actually works better than the pressure treated stuff because that don't catch anything for us. But this is just nonstop bees.